this turn has been rough for it. It was watching that curb, and then it does that every time. I think this is part of the one-way street recognition that I've talked about in past videos. Since it thinks it's turning on to a regular two-way street, it thinks it needs to take it to the right when it should stay tight. I'll really look forward to that being addressed, because that is a lot. Oh, that is a lot of what I deal with. Okay, so there is a school bus coming. We've crept out over the railroad tracks and waited. This is definitely an improvement. In the past, it would not creep out. This is going too slow. I'm going to give it a push just because it was one of those instances where if it would just go, it would be fine, but it takes too long and then becomes, it wasn't unsafe. The car that was coming was far away, but it just looked bad to other drivers. Okay, so today it did not follow that dotted line. That is what I was talking about previously. So let's see if it up here, if it does the same thing. There was another area where it would always change lanes improperly to get itself out of position for an upcoming right-hand turn. Let's see if it does that. To stay in this lane. One of the things that it was doing starting with build 8 was it was trying to get into the left lane right here. I think, yeah, it's doing it again. Well, it changed its mind this time at least. I think what messes it up is that it's a bike lane. It becomes a shared bike lane, and it doesn't like that. Alright, I'm really having to push it here. I'm not sure why today it's not doing as well. Alright, I'm going to change my nav to make it go up one of the side streets. Let's see. You know what? We'll see how it does at Washington Square today. Okay, it has not been able to make this turn. It's missed it every single time. Let's see if it finds it today. Nope, it's just going past. Okay, it's probably... it needs to reroute. When it's not following the map anymore, it gets very upset. And it's not... Okay, let's see if it finds Pope. Okay, it did find Pope. Okay, great. That was actually a really good turn. I think that the issue when it's not finding the streets is when there is a car parallel parked adjacent to the left. That was the issue, I believe, at Young. I'll go and look at the video again. But it was not an issue at Pope. Okay, it folded in the mirrors here. Now let's see how we do creeping out. Here it has not done well yet. I mean, there's no car coming, but to me that looked like it was just gonna go. They are definitely still working on creep logic. With build 8 and 9, what it started doing was it would creep, but the timing was off. Like, it would creep itself out into the middle of the intersection. And it was looking, but it was looking too far out. It's not how a human driver would do, and also, not very nice to oncoming cars. But so there's definitely still tweaking the logic with creep. All right, I need to be in this lane. Okay, good. Come on. There's a marked difference between how Build 10 behaves in what I would call California style roads or regular roads like the big box store boulevards versus my driving here in town in Newport. It's definitely better than it was before in town, but they are still working on some of the issues that I have, mainly with the one-way streets and the really, really tight turns onto one-way streets that are blind, and you have to peek around buildings to see if you can go or not. That's like everywhere in town. This intersection is so messy. If you want to look it up on maps, it's the intersection of Turo and Spring Street in Newport, right near the Turo Synagogue. It's, Newport is a colonial town, and, these roads were made for horses, and they weren't made for cars. Okay. So I am recording the snapshot for this area again. I'll be really happy when this one is fixed. It says autopilot creeping forward, checking for visibility. It did stop at the stop sign this time again. So it did figure out that this is where the stop sign is. Okay, there's a car coming. My car waited. Oh, he's telling me to go, so I'm gonna go. Alright, let's see how we go around today. Okay. Seems to have gotten that down pat. Alright, that's where I navigated to. Let's go. Let's see, there's another intersection up here that it's kind of struggled at. Okay, so this light coming up, it's an unprotected left, and the intersection is like sort of offset. Like the line where I stop is right here, but the intersection is a little further forward. Alright, it did stop for that car. That actually was beautiful. It hasn't been able to do that very well, because the cars that are oncoming are coming from around a curve. Let's go. We're gonna try my weird intersection today. Let's see how, it's not really flinching having to cross the yellow with the oncoming traffic. Howard sent me this button to make it easier to record snapshots. I guess it's like a joystick when you're playing games on your phone. I don't know. I don't do that, but it's rattling. Okay. It's kind of, I don't know if I'm going to like that. The roads here are so bad, it's just going to rattle all the time. Still does not recognize school zones. Thinks that there's a stop sign where there isn't. All right, up ahead is a maneuver it has not been able to do. And in fact, I don't think I've reported it in the past. I'll report it today. We have to go out, we have to cross 2 lanes, go out into this island before we make the left-hand turn. It has not been able to do this, so like basically it doesn't stop here. Okay, it did that today. I'm going to report it anyway because it wasn't very good. There was a car coming and it didn't hit it, obviously. It wasn't going to, but I think to the oncoming driver, I probably looked like I was just going to go. I'm not sure how that looked. I'll have to watch the video. Regarding that intersection back there, I think that the issue is that when it crosses into the middle, there isn't another stop sign, maybe, because I feel like it hasn't ever really stopped. But I've only done it a couple times. I'm gonna have to test that one often. on my weird intersection that I was so happy that it got the other night. Okay, we're choosing the right lane. And oh, I disconnected because it looked like it might have hit that curb. I don't know if it was or it wasn't, but I didn't want to find out. One area that Beta, I think that they're still working on, is low curbs. When it's a high curb, I feel like the car does really, really well. But when it's a low curb like that was, I don't know if it doesn't see it as well or what, but I've had close calls, and I've actually rubbed my tire once on low curbs. I'm pushing it a little bit. It wants to stop, but there's no stop sign. It's done that a few times at that intersection. I had a car behind me, so I didn't want to let it do it to see what happened. Okay, I'm going to change my navigation. Where do I want to go? That is basically, I think, autopilot crashing. This is going to be an interesting maneuver because it doesn't know where to go here. It's got to basically do... I took over because the guy behind me was like, "What are you doing?" I don't think it's ever gotten this. I should probably test that a few more times. Kind of like it doesn't like to do U-turns. Yeah, it's definitely acting a little buggy right now. I guess that was technically correct, that it should have used the turn signal there. I don't know. Anyway, back to the red hands. When it does that, that's basically the system FSD crashing. It's like a crash, I guess. And it usually comes right back next time I disconnect. I don't know if it just gets confused or what, but it does that every once in a while. Nobody behind me here. It doesn't like these in this area. Like, it doesn't know how to handle them. I'm gonna record that. Did I record it? Yeah. Okay, it can go. It doesn't like this intersection. It is kind of weird because it's on an angle and it has to look that way behind for the oncoming traffic, I feel like that's an area that is still being worked on. Did a better job today picking this lane. The last time I came from this direction and was making this left, it was kind of, the car was kind of diagonal, taking up part of the other lane too. So it did a little better with that today. to go down this crazy street in town and see how it does. Where do I want to navigate to? Navigate to the pink pineapple. I'm not going to go the way it wants me to. I am going to go down this really weird narrow street and see what happens. Waiting for navigation to recalculate so that I'll turn on beta. Okay, here it goes. So it doesn't, okay, here we go. This is very weird. Okay, there's a stop sign here. All right, it's got that. I wish there were more cars parked here today. Normally this street is lined with cars in the summer. Now it's going to go down this alley. I can see that there are no cars coming, but yeah, it did a good job there. Didn't do great there. Let's go to let's see if I can get it to go up one of the side streets again. Again. Can't find it. Now there's a car parked here. Let's see how it does. Nope, it missed it. Now it's going to get upset. Waiting for it to recalculate. Doesn't like it when it's not following the navigation. That's one thing. I mean, I'm sure they just, oh, it's gonna miss that one too. Damn it. It needs to get better at recalculating when it misses a turn. I can see cars coming. I think that this one is better because it can actually see. See, it like it crept out into the middle. I'm gonna stop it here because there was a car behind me. That's what it's doing with the creep. It's kind of stopping. It's creeping out too far and then taking too long to commit to the maneuver. Let's go. Oh, I know. Let's go. There's an intersection I want to test. Why it was wanting to get over there. It's amazing to me that it can see this red light around this school bus. Better than a human in this case. This intersection it has had trouble with in the past, but maybe because I have a car next to me and a lead car, it'll do okay. Yeah, it's a little unsure, it feels like, but it stayed in the correct lane. So yeah, I think that it is going to make the same mistake again, and that is the lane that I am in right now becomes, oh, that's not right. I ran a red light. So did the car behind me. This lane is now a turn-only lane. I need to be in this neighboring lane in order to make this upcoming left. Actually, the disconnect should report. We should take care of that. The car thinks it's in the correct position, and even if I'm in this lane already, it actually switches into that lane that becomes a turn-only lane. That's a maps issue. I've reported it before, and I was hoping that it was fixed with 10, but it wasn't. it has stopped in this area ever since build 10. It stops right there after making that turn, and I don't know why it does that. All right, I'm gonna cancel my navigation.